Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922, ready to give you your One Piece episode review. 549. Luffy versus Jinbei. Wow, that's fucking awesome. Um, Before I begin this video, I want to give, I got a little shock, message beforehand. Code Provider. He, subscribed to me. I've heard of this guy in the YouTube anime community. He subscribed to me. I'm actually pretty shocked. You know, I mean, people subscribing to me that quickly. I'm already like close to like 350. It's actually pretty shocking. But I just want to mention that. Okay, excuse me. One Piece 549. Let's get into it. Okay, beginning episode of the episode. We get what happened beforehand. Luffy having this argument with Jinbei. We know what's going to go down. They're going to brawl. It's going down, you know? We get that. And then we move on to something else. Usopp, Zoro, and Brook in the cage. And it's like, and it's so funny because Usopp and Brook are like telling each other, oh, you know what? Usopp's like, I could dive down in an 82 feet pool of water. And then Brook says, yo ho ho ho, and he says, I could run as much as that all the way to the horizon. And Brook is like saying, oh, he's freaking out because the water is rising still. And they're like, oh, they're freaking out. They don't know what to do. And then Zoro says, shut up! And he's like, you know, thinking. And they say, oh, what are we going to do? He's like, do you have an idea? Nope. He's just trying to stay cool. But that's when we find something out. Apparently when Brook was, during the time skip, he got some new abilities too. One such ability was when he was on tour. Basically, he does this thing where he was like, blah, 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 and his soul comes out of his body. Literally, it's like this green soul that comes out, and he's like, yo ho ho ho! And he found out this when he was in trouble. He was troubled and couldn't find out a song. In other words, his when he was on tour with the music and everything, he couldn't find a song to attract people with, and that's when he asked God. He was like praying to God and stuff about it, and he was able to do this ability. So, give or take, he's going to use this ability to go and find a sword so they can get out of there. Moving right along, we go into Luffy and Jinbei. And everyone around them are like saying, don't fight, don't fight, don't fight. And they just go at it. And Luffy gets knocked pretty hard by Jinbei. And you knew this was happening because, come on, it's Jinbei. You know? Luffy-kun. Luffy-kun. And he was explaining that Fishman Karate, it focuses on the water of a person. The water inside the body. And that's what it affects. And that's why he's able to attack Luffy and hurt him so easily. So Luffy comes in with a jet stomp, and there's this one instant, then he comes at him real fast. And then, during this situation, who shows up? Robin. And there, everyone is talking about it and so on and so forth. And she shows up in the middle of it. And Luffy's going like this and saying, Robin, get out of the way! And Jinbei's like, who are you? And then Sanji's in the background. This is actually a funny moment, I thought. Saying, Robin, John. And then he dumps in there, and then she disappears. And then Jinbei hits Luffy. Luffy hits Jinbei, and they both hit Sanji. I was like, oh my god, what a crazy shit. And then she says, oh, you guys are friends. You shouldn't be fighting. And she's got, I love Robin. Robin for the motherfucking win. That's all I gotta say. I love Robin. She's like one of my favorite One Piece females. She's just hands down. Her, Hancock, I'll put Shirahoshi on that list too. Well, Robin obviously is, I think, better than Shirahoshi. But, moving right along. We then go into what's happening around the island. And we see the brothers, the princes, Fukaboshi, and the other two. They're dealing with the other fishman pirates, and they start fighting them and so on and so forth. And they take care of some of them. And then they tell the other people that are there that want to beat them up and kill them, you know. He says, don't do that. They're telling him, don't do that. That will only make that you're lower, basically saying you're lowering yourself to their level, and you shouldn't do that. And that's basically what they were saying to them, to the citizens. And then he fights this other guy of one of the fisherman pirates. I forgot his name. And he defeats him, and then they capture him, and then they decide it's time to move on. They leave it to the army to take care of, to have him in custody. Go down to the plaza to deal with the situation. Meanwhile, Zoro and Usopp are informed by the soul of Brook that all the guys are left. And basically what was stated was they all left because Horty Jones basically says, okay, I want you all guys coming with me to leave, go to the execution site. And that's the whole story. And they leave like a few people there, and he says, someone to open the doors for the new king, and they're like, oh, my nautical laugh, a whole bit. So they're leaving. Only a few guys are left there to open the doors. And that's what happens. So now Brook is there, and he's looking for the sword, and he bumps into Papuchu, the starfish guy, the starfish. And he sees him, and he's like, oh, he's scared because it's a ghost. So he runs away from him and everything. And then we go from that to, obviously, Luffy and Jinbei. And Jinbei's saying, you can't do this. If you go down there and you fight Horty Jones, the whole cycle is going to continue. Humans and fishmen are going to hate each other, hate each other, hate each other. And from there, we get a scene with Shirahoshi and Kami, and they're all worried about it, and Nami's there. And that's when we get this interest. Then all of a sudden, Sanji gets up, and he's like saying, Jinbei, that might be true, but they have our crewmates. We have to go save them. And that's the whole premise. We're going to go with Luffy to save them. And he also mentions, he says, oh, we know that you helped Luffy in a very difficult time when we weren't there. And I know that the reason why Luffy really wants to do this is because this is your home. And he wants to, help you with this situation. And then Luffy's like, and then after he does that crazy speech, Sanji, we're thinking, oh yeah, Sanji made a great speech, great speech and everything. And you know what he does? He's like, he goes from being serious and to cause she's there, here, and Kami's here. He's like freaking out because it's mermaids, and Nami's like, she's like totally disappointed in him. And then Jinbei he's protesting it, And he says, no, no, no. And they're going to fight. And then you have Nami saying, don't do it, stop it. And then you have this scene where there is, you know? And that's pretty much what happened in this episode. I mean, pretty interesting stuff. I liked it. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 because, like I said, I want to see more. I thought it was well done. Going to be interesting to see, you know, what happens down the road with this arc and how they're going to portray it. But I like what I saw. Not too bad. Not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. That's all that really happened. You know? Fucking Jinbei, man. Just that karate stuff. He's awesome. He's just like, oh. Jinbei for the motherfucking win. I mean, I don't know if Luffy, but I love Jinbei. I really do. I really like him. I really do. Luffy-kun. 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 I love when he says that. So that's the story. Probably 2 more reviews tonight. I'm hoping. I don't know. But a good episode of One Piece. Liked what I saw. There's really nothing else left to do review-wise. It's just Fate Zero and Amnesia. But I don't know if I should do Amnesia. Ooh, last week's episode of Amnesia was off the charts. So I might have to wait on that. I don't know. We'll see. FYI, tomorrow is Memorial Day. Oh, I should say today is Memorial Day. I'm going to be going out with my... Just not to get off topic here, just briefly stating it. Going out with my brother to go see Men in Black, Will Smith and everything. And we're gonna go see it in Manhattan. There's this comic book store next to the movie theater called Forbidden Planet. On the 2nd floor, they got a lot of anime shit. A lot. They got like they got mangas, they got shirts, figurines, DVDs. So I might buy something. We'll see. But anyway, it's Bonkai 922. I'm not going to do another Toonami thing. Sorry. If you guys saw it, you saw the schedule, you saw how it was, and you know what the story was. It was effing good. So that's all there is to it. Good episode of One Piece. Keep it coming. See you guys.